They don't seat nurses at that table. That's what my stepmother said when she explained why my name wasn't on the guest list for my brother's engagement party. 400 of Baltimore's elite were invited. Owen and his fiancée were being celebrated, the daughter of a Maryland senator from one of the most powerful medical families in the state. But not me. I work night shifts in the Pediatric ICU at Johns Hopkins. Blue scrubs, long hours, a job they didn't want in that room. I didn't argue. I didn't ask for an explanation. I just didn't go. 5 days later, I stood in a very different room, the Johns Hopkins Gala. 500 people. And the room went quiet. My stepmother was there, so was Owen. And for the first time, they understood why I never defended myself. My name is Claire Donovan. I'm 31. If you think status is measured by degrees or last names, wait until the end, when they realize they misjudged the wrong person. Have you ever been excluded because of your job? Tell me what they said. 3:47 a.m. Thursday, May 16, 2024. I was in the pediatric ICU at Johns Hopkins, adjusting a ventilator for a 6-year-old girl who couldn't breathe on her own. Mia. Cystic fibrosis, her third admission this year. Her mother had finally gone home to sleep after I promised I'd stay. The monitors beeped steadily, green lines tracking oxygen, heart rate, sedation levels. I documented everything on my iPad: flow rates, breath sounds, the way her small chest rose and fell under the warming blanket. My coffee had gone cold 2 hours ago. My hair was pulled into a messy bun. I'd been wearing these same scrubs for 11 hours. This was my job. 12 years of it. 12 years of night shifts and tiny hands and being present at 2 a.m. when parents are too terrified to think straight. My phone buzzed on the desk. I didn't look immediately. You don't check your phone when you're with a patient. But when Mia's breathing finally steadied, when her mother's empty chair sat in the dim corner, I picked it up. One new message. Diane Donovan. My stepmother. I knew before I even opened it. Good news doesn't arrive at 3:47 in the morning. The message loaded. Claire Honey Owen's engagement party will be intimate, just close family. You understand, right? We want to keep it elegant. Hope work is going well. XO Diane. Below it, an Instagram story screenshot. The grand ballroom. 400 chairs arranged in perfect rows, crystal chandeliers catching the setup lights, a backdrop 12 feet wide, Donovan Langford in flowing gold script, champagne towers being assembled by staff in white gloves. I zoomed in on the photo. There, partially visible at the edge, a seating chart on an easel. Table 1, Donovan family. My name was nowhere on it. Intimate. 400 people. And close family apparently doesn't include the daughter of the man whose name is literally on that backdrop. I sat in the blue glow of the monitors, Mia breathing steadily beside me, the PICU silent, except for the rhythmic beeping of machines keeping children alive. My phone's lock screen showed my father. Dr. Michael Donovan, 63 in that photo, white coat crisp, stethoscope draped around his neck. He was standing in this exact hallway. Johns Hopkins had been his world for 40 years. I remembered his voice. 2 years ago, maybe less. I'd just lost a patient, a 4-year-old with a congenital heart defect. I was sitting in his office, crying into my hands. He'd put his palm on my shoulder. Claire, you know why I'm so proud of you? Not because you're brilliant, because you care. You're a real doctor, sweetheart. You touch patients every single day. That's what healing actually is. In my phone case, behind my insurance card, I still kept one of his old business cards. On the back, in his handwriting. My daughter, the healer. Dad believed that, but Diane didn't. And in 72 hours, both of them would learn exactly who Dad trusted with everything. I typed my response. I understand. Congratulations to Owen and Sophia. Send. Phone face down on the desk. I looked back at Mia, wrote in her chart, patient stable, family notified, continuing to monitor. I understand. I've always understood. That's what you do when you're the daughter who's just a nurse. But there were things Diane didn't understand. On my laptop at home, 2 emails sat unread, one from Hopkins Alumni Relations, one from Pemberton and Associates Law Firm. Both began the same way, regarding the Donovan Medical Legacy Trust. Invisible. That's what I'd been for 25 years. Not absent, not estranged, just see-through. 6 months earlier, Thanksgiving. I'd baked a pumpkin pie from scratch, arrived at Diane's Roland Park townhouse at 2 p.m. sharp. She opened the door in a cream cashmere sweater that probably cost more than my monthly grocery budget. "Oh, Claire, you made it. We just finished setting the table." I followed her into the dining room. 8 chairs, 7 place settings. She touched my elbow, voice apologetic. "Actually, honey, we need the extra seat for Sophia, Owen's girlfriend. You don't mind eating in the kitchen, do you?" The kitchen table. 1 chair, 1 placemat. I don't mind. I sat there alone for 2 hours. I could hear them in the other room. Laughter, wine glasses clinking, someone telling a story that made everyone roar. Owen's voice, probably. He'd always been good at making people laugh. Nobody checked on me. When I left at 4:30, Diane was already uploading photos to Instagram. I saw them later that night, lying in my studio apartment. Grateful for family #blessed. 7 people in every shot. Diane, Owen, Sophia, Owen's maternal grandparents, Diane's sister, the Donovan family. I wasn't in a single frame. December 20th. Christmas photos. Diane had texted the family group chat 3 days before. "Everyone here at 4 p.m., matching outfits, burgundy." I'd switched shifts with another nurse to get off early, bought a burgundy sweater at Target for $60, half a shift's pay. Drove across town, arrived at 3:30. The photographer was packing up his lights. Diane opened the door, eyes wide with theatrical surprise. "Oh, sweetie, we thought you were working. We already finished." Past her shoulder, I could see Owen pulling off his burgundy sweater, Sophia checking her lipstick in a compact, Owen's grandparents gathering their coats. "I texted that I was coming," I said. "It must not have come through." Her smile never faltered. "You know how technology is." I stood on the porch, Target bag in hand. Through the doorway, I glimpsed the photographer's camera screen. The final shot. 7 people arranged beautifully on the curved staircase, perfect, complete, without me. That photo became their Christmas card, sent to 200 people. I got one in the mail. The caption read, "The Donovan Family, Christmas 2023. I kept it, tucked it into my nightstand drawer, a reminder of exactly where I stood. Easter brunch, March 31st, Harbor East, some upscale restaurant with white tablecloths and mimosas in crystal flutes. Diane had invited colleagues, neighbors, friends. I sat beside her at the long table. A woman in pearls and a lavender suit leaned across her eggs Benedict. "Diane, this is your whole family?" Diane beamed. "Yes, this is Owen, my son. He just got accepted to Johns Hopkins Medical School, following his father's footsteps." The woman turned to me, polite smile in place. "And you, dear?" Diane's hand waved vaguely in my direction. "Oh, that's Claire, Owen's half-sister. She works at Hopkins, too." "Wonderful. Are you in medical school as well?" "No," Diane said before I could answer. "She's a nurse." The tone, dismissive, like I'd just admitted I cleaned bedpans for minimum wage. The woman's smile stayed fixed, but her eyes moved away. Back to Owen. Back to the future doctor. Back to someone worth her attention. I finished my eggs, left before dessert, or nobody noticed. But that wasn't my real life. My real life was the 12-hour shifts. The parents who couldn't afford to miss work, so I taught them how to operate feeding tubes and ventilators at home. The 4-year-old post-heart surgery patient whose hand I held for 3 hours while her parents drove in from Pennsylvania. My real life was Dr. Raman, my attending physician, stopping me in the hallway one Tuesday and saying, "Claire, you're the best nurse I've worked with in 20 years. These kids are lucky to have you." My real life was making $73,000 a year, driving a 2014 Honda Civic, living in a studio apartment in a neighborhood where I could hear my neighbors arguing through the walls. No fancy title, no prestige, just showing up. But there were also phone calls nobody knew about. February 15th, 10:30 a.m. I was grocery shopping on my day off, standing in the cereal aisle, when my phone rang. "Pemberton and Associates," I answered. "This is Claire." A man's voice, measured and professional. "Ms. Donovan, this is Richard Pemberton. We need to discuss the trust distribution timeline. Your father's will specifies that the scholarship announcement should occur within 18 to 24 months of his passing. We're approaching that window." I stopped walking. A woman pushed her cart past me. "The scholarship?" I said. "Yes. You're the sole trustee, Ms. Donovan. You manage all disbursements, including any conditional funding for Owen. I'll send the documentation. Please review everything by the end of the month." I stood in the middle of the grocery store for 5 full minutes after he hung up. People moved around me, shopping, living, unaware, and I realized Dad had been planning this from the moment he'd known he was sick. At home, I opened my bedroom nightstand. Beneath a stack of novels was a manila folder. Inside, a letter from Dad, sealed in an envelope marked, "Open after the announcement." A copy of his will, 47 pages, sections highlighted in yellow, a business card I'd never used. Claire Donovan, RN, BSN, Trustee, Donovan Medical Legacy Trust. Bank statements, trust balance, $19.2 million, and Owen's academic records sent by the lawyer. Johns Hopkins Medical School, first year, GPA 2.87, volunteer hours 45 out of the required 200. I turned to page 7 of the will. Owen Donovan shall receive tuition support conditional upon academic excellence, GPA, minimum 3.5, ethical conduct in accordance with medical standards, volunteer commitment of 200 hours annually in patient-facing roles, and semester-by-semester approval by Trustee Claire Donovan, who shall determine whether the beneficiary's pursuit of medicine is genuine and not performative. Below that, should Owen fail to meet these standards, or should the trustee determine his commitment to medicine is insufficient, all designated funds shall transfer permanently to the Nursing to Medicine Scholarship Fund. Dad had given me everything, all the power, all the responsibility, and Diane had no idea. May 10th, 1:17 a.m. My phone rang. I was driving home from my shift, exhausted, still in my scrubs, Owen's name on the screen. I pulled over, answered. "Hey, you okay?" His voice was wrong, slurred slightly. "Hey, Claire, I'm sorry to call so late. I need to talk to someone." "Have you been drinking?" "A little." "Yeah." A pause. "Claire, I don't know if I want to be a doctor anymore." I put the car in park, turned off the engine. "What do you mean?" "I think I'm only doing this because Mom wants me to. Because she keeps saying, 'Your father was a legend. You have to make him proud.' But I don't know if this is what I want." I closed my eyes. "Have you told Diane?" He laughed, bitter. "Are you kidding? She'd kill me. She told me last week, 'Your father died and left you this legacy. You can't ruin it.'" "And what do you think Dad would actually say?" Silence. Then quiet. "I don't know anymore." "Owen, listen. You called me for a reason. What do you need?" I wish you got more respect, you know. I see how Mom treats you. It's not right." My throat tightened. "Thanks," I said. Get some sleep, we'll talk soon. Before he hung up, he said something I almost missed. Hey Claire, Mom told me Dad left money for both of us. She said not to worry about tuition, that we're set. You got your part already, right? I went very still. Mom said that? Yeah. She's been handling everything with the lawyer. You met with them too, right? I did, I said carefully. Get some rest, Owen. After I hung up, I sat in my parked car for 20 minutes. Owen thought Diane controlled the money. Diane thought she had authority. And neither of them knew that for 18 months the lawyer had been reporting to exactly one person, me. May 13th, 7:15 a.m. I got home after my night shift and opened my laptop. My 2015 MacBook Pro covered in faded stickers. 47 unread emails. One subject line caught my eye. Hopkins Medicine Gala, Nurse of the Year nomination. Sender, Dr. Patricia Huang, Dean of Nursing. Sent 3 days ago. I clicked. Dear Ms. Claire Donovan, it is our distinct honor to inform you that you have been nominated for the 2024 Johns Hopkins Nurse of the Year Award in recognition of your exceptional dedication to pediatric critical care. The gala will take place Saturday, May 18th, 7 p.m. at the Walters Art Museum. Black tie required. This year's event holds special significance as we will announce the Dr. Michael Donovan Memorial Scholarship Fund, a legacy your father designed to transform medical education. As his daughter and appointed trustee, your presence would be deeply meaningful. Our guest list includes over 500 attendees, Hopkins leadership, major donors, and Maryland's medical community. Please RSVP by Wednesday, May 15th. I read it again. May 18th, the same night as Owen's engagement party. Same city, 2.3 miles apart. The second email was from Pemberton. Subject: Urgent. Trust announcement timeline and legal requirements. Ms. Donovan, per your father's will, Section 12.4, the Donovan Medical Legacy Trust must be publicly announced within 18 to 24 months of his passing. We are at month 18. Dr. Donovan specified that the announcement should occur at a gathering of the medical community where my values can be honored. The Hopkins Gala on May 18th is ideal. The announcement will include 1. Scholarship fund details, $12 million endowment. 2. Your role as trustee and advisory council member. 3. Trust structure, including Owen's conditional eligibility. 4. Video tribute featuring your father's own words about medicine and family. All documentation is prepared. I will attend to present. Your signature is required by Thursday, May 16th, 5 p.m. to authorize public disclosure. Please note, Senator Langford and several Hopkins board members who knew your father will be in attendance. This is not optional per the will, but the timing confirmation is yours. Richard Pemberton, Esquire. Attached, a 15-page presentation deck. Video transcript, legal release forms. I opened the presentation. Slide 2. Total endowment, $19.2 million. Slide 5. Dr. Michael Donovan, Memorial Scholarship, $12 million over 30 years, supporting nursing students pursuing medical degrees. Slide 12. Family Beneficiary Clause, Owen Donovan eligible. For $320,000 total, $80,000 per year times 4 years, conditional upon academic and ethical standards, plus trustee approval. Slide 15. Video tribute, includes Dr. Donovan's recorded words, Claire doesn't need my title, she's already a healer. I sat back. Dad had planned this, not just the money, the timing, the venue, the audience. He wanted the world to know, not in a lawyer's office, not in a private family meeting, in the light, in front of the community he'd served for 40 years. And he wanted me there. 8 a.m. I called the Hopkins Gala committee. A woman answered. Hopkins Medicine Gala, this is Linda. Hi, this is Claire Donovan. I'm calling to RSVP. Oh, Ms. Donovan, we're so glad. Will you be bringing a guest? No, just me. Wonderful. You're seated at Table 1, VIP section, directly below the stage. Dr. Huang specifically requested your placement. A pause. We're also arranging a brief speaking opportunity for scholarship trustees. Would you be comfortable with that? I took a breath. Yes, I'll speak. Perfect. Black tie, 7 p.m. This is going to be a beautiful evening. I hung up and stared at my calendar. May 18th, circled in red marker. I pulled up my text thread with Diane. The last message. You understand, right? I opened my notes app, typed a message to myself. No, I don't understand anymore. And that's okay. Thursday, May 16th, 9 a.m. I walked into Pemberton and Associates, downtown Baltimore, 14th floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the harbor. Richard Pemberton met me in the lobby. 62, gray suit, kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. Ms. Donovan, thank you for coming. He led me to a conference room, mahogany table, documents spread across it like evidence. These require your signature to authorize the public announcement. He slid 3 folders toward me. Document 1, authorization for disclosure. Document 2, trustee confirmation of fiduciary duty. Document 3, Owen Donovan, academic and volunteer records. I opened the 3rd folder. Johns Hopkins Medical School transcript. Owen Donovan, Year 1, Fall semester, GPA, 2.9, 1 spring midterm average, 2.87, required 3.5 volunteer service log, Year 1, total hours, 45. Required 200 categories, administrative filing, 30 hours, event support, 15 hours, patient interaction, 0 hours. I looked up. 0 patient hours? Pemberton nodded. Your father was explicit. He believed anyone pursuing medicine must demonstrate genuine love for patients, not just the idea of being a doctor. I turned the page. Owen's medical school application essay. I'd never seen it before. Prompt. Why do you want to pursue medicine? Owen had written, following in my stepfather's legacy as a Johns Hopkins physician, I want to make my family proud and continue the Donovan tradition of medical excellence. Not a single mention of patients, not one word about healing or caring or helping, just legacy, just family pride. I closed the folder. Pemberton said quietly, Your father read this essay before he passed. That's when he added the conditional clauses. I picked up a pen. My hand shook slightly. If I sign this, Owen will learn publicly that he's not automatically entitled to tuition, that his current GPA disqualifies him, that I have sole authority to approve or deny funding. Correct. Will it be public that he's failing? No. Will state conditional eligibility based on academic and ethical standards managed by the trustee. The specifics remain private unless Owen chooses to share them. And Diane? Pemberton's expression didn't change. Mrs. Diane Donovan is not mentioned anywhere in your father's will. She has no legal standing regarding the trust. She'll learn this Saturday along with everyone else. I signed the first document, then the second. Pemberton handed me a sealed envelope. Dr. Michael Donovan written in my father's handwriting. Below it, for Claire, open after the announcement. I put it in my purse, signed the final page. Pemberton stood. I'll see you Saturday, 7 p.m. I walked out into the bright May morning, 58 hours left, and I'd just signed away any possibility of turning back. 2 p.m. Nordstrom, downtown Baltimore. I'd never shopped for formal wear in my life. A sales associate approached, mid-30s, perfectly styled. What's the occasion? A gala. Medical gala. Wonderful. What's your budget? I hesitated. I'd never had a budget for anything over $100. $300 to $400? She showed me options. I tried on 4 dresses and felt awkward in all of them. Too fancy, too obvious, too much. The 5th dress was simple. Black midi length, cap sleeves, elegant without screaming for attention. $340. I looked at myself in the mirror. Almost didn't recognize the woman looking back. "You look beautiful," the associate said. "Confident." "I don't feel confident." She smiled. "Fake it. That's what we all do." I bought the dress, added simple black heels for $89. Total, $429 plus tax, half a paycheck. I walked out carrying the bag like armor. 6:30 p.m., same day. My phone rang. "Diane Donovan," I answered. "Hello?" "Claire, I need a favor." Her voice was rushed. "We need a venue coordinator for Saturday, and the caterer is asking about dietary restrictions. Can you cover a shift this weekend? We'll compensate you." "I'm not available." "You're not available? Honey, you're a nurse. You can switch shifts." "I have my own event." A pause, then a laugh. "What event? You didn't mention anything." "A medical event. It's important." "Okay, well, hopefully you can still stop by the party for a bit, although—" She trailed off. "To be honest, the Langfords are very particular about the guest list. You understand." "I understand," I said. "You'll see me Saturday." "What? Where will you be?" "You'll find out." I hung up. She called back immediately. I didn't answer. 11 p.m. I sat at my small desk in my studio apartment, writing in a notebook my father had given me when I started nursing school. "Dad, if I'm doing this wrong, I'm sorry. I don't know if this is the right thing. Owen is going to be hurt. Diane is going to be furious. And people will judge me. They'll think I'm greedy, power-hungry, cruel. But I read your will. I read Owen's essay. And I understand why you did this. Not to punish him, to protect him, to force him to face the truth, that he's living Diane's life, not his own. I'm scared, Dad. Scared I'm not strong enough to handle what's coming. Scared I'll cave when Owen cries or when Diane yells. But I remember what you told me. Compassion doesn't mean saying yes to everything. It means caring enough to say no when it matters. I'll try. I promise. Love, Claire. I didn't send it. Just folded the page and tucked it into the manila folder with his letter. Friday, May 17th. 10 a.m. Owen texted, "Claire, 24 hours until I'm officially engaged. Sophia's family is going all out. I'm kind of nervous, haha. Wish you could be there. Mom said you're working a shift, but anyway, love you. Thanks for always listening." I stared at the message. Typed, "Congratulations. You deserve happiness." He replied, "Thanks BTW. Mom mentioned something about Dad's trust fund. I haven't asked for details yet, but I think you're benefiting from it too. I'm glad Dad took care of us." I set the phone down without responding. Owen thought Dad took care of us. But Dad hadn't left money to take care of anyone. He'd left lessons. And in 33 hours, Owen would learn the first one. Saturday, May 18th. 5 p.m. I stood in my studio apartment, looking at myself in the mirror. Black dress, simple makeup, hair in a low bun. On my bed, the invitation to the Hopkins Gala. The business card that read, "Trustee." The sealed letter from Dad. I set an alarm. Leave at 6:30 p.m. Across town, the grand ballroom was in full celebration mode. I knew because Instagram was exploding. 400 guests, live orchestra, champagne pyramids. The backdrop with Donovan Langford in gold letters 12 feet high, Owen in a tuxedo, Sophia in a white cocktail dress, Diane in a burgundy Valentino gown, holding court with a circle of socialites. The posts kept coming. Most beautiful engagement party. Future power couple. Dr. Donovan would be so proud. One comment, buried. "Where's Owen's sister?" Diane's reply. "Claire's working tonight. She's a nurse, very dedicated." Owen saw it. Texted me at 6:15. "Hey, where are you? People are asking about you." I didn't reply. Because I was in an Uber heading in the opposite direction. 6:42 p.m. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Hello? Ms. Donovan? This is Patricia Chen, Senator Langford's chief of staff. The senator wanted me to reach out before tonight's gala. He was a close friend of your father's. They served on the Hopkins board together. He'd like to greet you personally when you arrive. I sat up straighter. I didn't know he'd be attending. He and Mrs. Langford are major donors. They'll be at table 2. The senator also wanted you to know. She paused. He's aware of tonight's announcement, and he fully supports your father's vision. My breath caught. Senator Langford knew, which meant Sophia's family knew, which meant Owen's future in-laws knew before Owen did. Thank you, I managed. I'll see you at 7. The call ended. I looked out the Uber window. Baltimore passing by. The harbor, the lights, 2 worlds, 2.3 miles apart. One celebrating a future built on assumptions, one about to reveal the truth. 7:03 p.m. The Uber stopped in front of the Walters Art Museum. Classical architecture, marble columns, red carpet, photographers, press. I stepped out. A man in a suit approached immediately. Ms. Donovan? I nodded. I'm James from Hopkins Events. We've been expecting you. Right this way. Red carpet. Photographers turned. Flashes. Ms. Donovan over here. Who are you with tonight? What's your connection to Hopkins? James guided me through with a hand at my elbow. Just smile. At the check-in desk, a woman looked up, beaming. Claire Donovan, welcome. You're at Table 1, VIP Center. She handed me a name tag. Claire Donovan, RN, BSN. Donovan Medical Legacy Trust, founding trustee. I stared at it. The first time I'd ever seen my name with that title, publicly. James said, "The dean wants to greet you before the program starts. This way." I stepped into the ballroom. 500 people, crystal chandeliers, round tables with white linens and gold accents, a stage at the front with a massive screen, and a banner above it all. Dr. Michael Donovan Memorial Scholarship, a legacy of compassion. My father had been dead for 18 months, but tonight he was everywhere. 7:12 p.m. Claire! Dr. Patricia Huang, Dean of Nursing, came toward me with open arms. She hugged me, warm and genuine. I'm so glad you're here. Your father talked about you constantly in faculty meetings. He'd say, "My daughter's the real doctor. She's there at 3 a.m. when a child can't breathe." My eyes stung. "Come," she said. "Meet the board." She led me to a group of 6 people, doctors, administrators, donors. This is Claire Donovan, Michael's daughter, one of our finest PICU nurses, and founding trustee of the scholarship fund. They shook my hand one by one, shared memories of my father. Dr. Kumar, chair of cardiology. Your father saved my career once, not medically, professionally. He believed in people when no one else did. I see he passed that gift to you. Then a voice behind me. Claire. I turned. Senator James Langford, 68, silver hair, commanding presence, Sophia's father. He extended his hand. Firm handshake. Michael was like a brother to me. What he's done with this trust, it's visionary. He paused. Sophia speaks very highly of Owen, but Michael always told me you were the real healer in the family. Thank you, Senator. We'll talk after the announcement. There's much to discuss. He walked back to his table. Dr. Huang squeezed my arm. You belong here, Claire. Never forget that. 7:25 p.m. James guided me to table 1, directly below the stage, 3 feet from the podium. 8 chairs. Placard. Reserved. VIP trustees and board members. Name cards around the table. Claire Donovan, Trustee Senator James Langford. Mrs. Patricia Langford. Dr. Patricia Huang, Dean of Nursing. Dr. Vincent Kumar. Cardiology Chair Richard Pemberton, Esquire. 2 empty seats I sat. The chair was comfortable. The view was perfect. A waiter approached. "Wine, Ms. Donovan?" "Water, please." Senator Langford sat beside me. "First time at center table?" I nodded. "You'll do wonderfully. Just be yourself. That's who Michael trusted." Mrs. Langford leaned across. "Claire, your father once told me, the best doctors remember what it's like to be scared. You embody that every day." The lights began to dim. An MC's voice filled the room. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Johns Hopkins Medicine Gala." Across town, at the grand ballroom, Owen was in the bathroom, scrolling his phone. A notification, Baltimore Sun, posted 8 minutes ago. Johns Hopkins announces $12 million medical scholarship at tonight's gala. Donovan family legacy continues. He clicked. A photo loaded. Claire on a red carpet. Caption: Claire Donovan, RN, trustee of the Donovan Medical Legacy Trust, arrives at the Hopkins Gala. Owen's stomach dropped. He texted, "Claire, what's happening? People are sending me links. Are you at a gala?" No response. He texted again. "Claire, please, what is this about a trust?" Called, straight to voicemail. He walked out, found Diane talking to a group of guests. "Mom, Claire's at some Hopkins Gala. There's an article about Dad's trust. Do you know what's going on?" Diane pulled out her phone, Googled. Her face went white. "What the hell? Mom? I need to call our lawyer. Now." 7:35 p.m. The Walters Art Museum. The MC stood at the podium. "Tonight we honor two essential pillars of medicine, nursing excellence and transformative education. Before we announce our scholarship details, please join us in remembering a giant of Hopkins medicine, Dr. Michael Donovan." The lights dimmed. The screen came alive. Video footage. A narrator's voice. Dr. Michael Donovan dedicated 40 years to pediatric cardiology at Johns Hopkins. He performed over 2,000 heart surgeries, trained more than 300 physicians, and believed that medicine was not about prestige, but about presence. Images of my father, in surgery, focused and steady, teaching medical students, pointing at a model heart, holding a baby post-op, his large hands impossibly gentle, laughing with nurses in a hallway. Then a clip I'd never seen. An interview, recorded maybe 2 years before he died. My father looked directly at the camera. "People ask me what makes a great doctor. It's not the grades. It's not where you trained. It's this. Do you show up at 2 in the morning when a mother is terrified? Do you hold someone's hand when there's nothing else medical left to do?" He smiled. "My daughter Claire is a nurse. She does that every single day. She's more of a doctor than most MDs I know." I pressed my hand to my mouth. Senator Langford squeezed my shoulder. The video continued. Home footage, grainy and old. I was maybe 10 years old, sitting in Dad's home office. He was teaching me how to take blood pressure, his hands guiding mine as I wrapped the cuff around his arm. Child me, serious and focused. "Like this?" "Perfect, sweetheart. You're a natural healer." "I want to help kids like you do, Daddy." The footage cut to recent video. Someone had filmed me at Hopkins without my knowledge. I was in the PICU, holding a 4-year-old after surgery, singing softly. Her parents watched from the corner, both crying. Then my father's voice again, from the interview. "Claire chose nursing because she wanted to touch patients, not stand at a distance. That's real medicine. That's what I spent 40 years trying to teach." Text appeared on screen. Claire Donovan, RN, BSN, 12 years, Johns Hopkins Pediatric ICU, over 200 lives saved through direct care. The room erupted in applause. People turned to look at me. I couldn't stop the tears. Dr. Huang's hand on my shoulder, steady, grounding. The video ended with a photo, my father and me, maybe 2 years ago. He was in his white coat. I was in scrubs. Arms around each other, both smiling. Text: A legacy of healing. The applause lasted 30 seconds, and I understood. This wasn't about money. This was my father telling the world, my daughter isn't just a nurse. She is exactly who I wanted in this profession. 7:48 p.m. The MC returned. And now, to announce the details of Dr. Donovan's legacy gift, please welcome Attorney Richard Pemberton. Pemberton walked to the podium, suit perfectly pressed. Carrying a leather folder, he adjusted the microphone. Good evening. Dr. Michael Donovan was my client for 15 years, my friend for 20. 18 months ago, he passed suddenly, but not before ensuring his values would continue through the most carefully constructed trust I've ever drafted. He opened the folder. Tonight, Johns Hopkins Medicine is honored to announce the Dr. Michael Donovan Memorial Scholarship Fund. Total endowment, $12 million over 30 years. Gasps rippled through the audience. This scholarship will support 40 students, specifically registered nurses pursuing medical degrees. We prioritize students from underserved backgrounds, students who demonstrate compassion over academic perfection, students who understand that the best physicians are those who've walked in patients' shoes. Applause. Dr. Donovan believed the best doctors are the ones who've cleaned bedpans, held hands through the night, worked the difficult shifts. This scholarship embodies that belief. He paused, looked directly at me. This fund requires careful stewardship. Dr. Donovan chose his trustee with extraordinary thought, someone who understands both medicine and humility, someone who embodies every value this scholarship represents. My heart pounded. Please welcome to the stage the founding trustee of the Donovan Medical Legacy Trust and newly elected member of the Hopkins Alumni Advisory Council, Ms. Claire Donovan. Spotlight. 500 faces turning toward me, camera flashes like lightning. I was frozen. 2 full seconds. Then Senator Langford's voice, quiet beside me. Go. I stood, walked to the stage, legs shaking. Pemberton extended his hand, helped me up the steps. The applause was deafening. A standing ovation starting from the back, rolling forward. Pemberton handed me the microphone. I stood at the podium, blinded by lights, saw faces, saw phones recording, took a breath. Thank you. My voice shook. I steadied it. I didn't prepare a big speech. My father used to say, Claire, you don't need degrees to heal people. You just need to show up. My voice cracked. I pushed through. For 12 years, I've shown up. At 2 a.m. when a baby stops breathing. At 4 a.m. when parents are terrified and don't know what to do. That's what nurses do. We show up. I paused, wiped my eyes. Dad understood that. He didn't need me to be a doctor. He just needed me to do the work I love, with my whole heart. This scholarship isn't about money. It's about honoring people like me, like us. Nurses who love patients enough to pursue medicine, not for the title, but for the impact. The room was silent, listening. As trustee, I promise to carry forward Dad's vision, that healing is spelled with your hands, not your degrees. To all future scholars, wherever you are, remember, you don't need permission to be a healer. You just need compassion. Standing ovation. Ending. I wiped tears, nodded, walked off stage. Pemberton caught my hand, whispered, Your father would be so proud. But he wasn't done. Pemberton returned to the microphone. One final matter. Dr. Donovan's trust also includes provisions for family beneficiaries. The room quieted. Specifically, his son Owen Donovan, currently a first-year student at Johns Hopkins Medical School. Murmurs. Owen is eligible for full tuition support, $80,000 per year for 4 years, pending specific conditions. Silence. These conditions include maintaining a GPA of 3.5 or higher, completing 200 hours of patient-facing volunteer work annually, demonstrating ethical conduct in line with medical standards, and, most importantly, receiving semester-by-semester approval from trustee Claire Donovan. Louder murmurs now. Dr. Donovan structured the trust this way because he believed medical education should be earned through genuine passion, not family obligation. Mrs. Donovan has sole discretion to approve or withhold funding based on whether Owen's pursuit of medicine is authentic and aligned with the values this scholarship represents. Pemberton's voice was steady, clear. If these conditions are not met, those funds revert permanently to the scholarship endowment for future nursing students. He looked out at the crowd. This is not punitive. This is protective. Dr. Donovan wanted to ensure his son chose medicine for the right reasons, and he trusted his daughter to guide that discernment. The camera panned to Senator Langford. He was nodding, expression serious but approving. Panned to me. I sat straight, composed. Pemberton concluded. Thank you. My phone, silenced in my clutch, was vibrating non-stop. I didn't look. The MC returned. Before we move to our Nurse of the Year awards, one final honor. Dr. Michael Donovan served on the Hopkins Alumni Advisory Council for 20 years. This year, we're proud to announce a new council member, representing nursing excellence in medical education, Claire Donovan. More applause. Claire joins as the first RN council member, ensuring that frontline clinical voices shape future physician training. Dr. Huang stood, clapping. Others followed. I gave a small bow from my seat. Meanwhile, 2.3 miles away, Owen's phone, 47 text messages. Dude, what is this about your sister controlling your tuition? Your GPA is 2.9, bro, you're screwed. Wait, the Langfords know about this? Sophia texted. Owen, my dad just told me about the trust. We need to talk. Are you okay? He tried calling me. Voicemail. Diane, outside the ballroom screaming at her lawyer. This is insane, I'm his mother, why wasn't I informed? Her lawyer's voice tired. Ma'am, you're not mentioned in the will. Claire has sole authority. I will fight this. You have no legal standing. 8:25 p.m. The program ended. I was immediately surrounded. Doctors, donors, nurses. Claire, that was beautiful. Your father was absolutely right about you. Can we schedule a meeting about scholarship criteria? Dr. Kumar. Claire, we need voices like yours in medical education reform. A photographer. Ms. Donovan, can we get a photo for the press release? I smiled, overwhelmed but steady. Senator Langford pulled me aside gently. Claire, we should talk. About Owen and Sophia. Not tonight, but soon. I want you to know, whatever you decide about Owen's funding, I support it. Medicine needs people who want to be there, not people who were pressured into it. Thank you, Senator. Mrs. Langford added, Sophia truly loves him. But she's also worried. She sees the drinking, the stress. Maybe this wake-up call is what he needs. I nodded. My phone buzzed again. 14 missed calls from Diane. 8 from Owen. 8:37 p.m. I stepped outside the museum. Fresh air, traffic sounds, Baltimore at night. My phone rang. Owen. I looked at the screen, took a deep breath, answered. Hello? His voice was shaking. Claire, where are you? What the hell is happening? I'm getting 50 messages about a trust, about you, about my tuition. Mom is freaking out. What did you do? Where are you? I'm in the bathroom at my own engagement party. It's still going on, but I can't focus. Claire, please tell me what's happening. I kept my voice calm. You need to hear the truth. Dad left the trust to me. All of it. I'm the only trustee. You're eligible for tuition, but there are conditions. GPA 3.5 minimum, volunteer work, and I have to approve every semester. Silence. Then, I don't understand. Why you? Why didn't Dad tell me? Mom said the money was split, that everything was handled. Mom doesn't know. Mom's not in the will. What the fuck, Claire? I'm at my engagement party. People are asking me questions. Sophia's dad is looking at me weird. And you dropped this bomb tonight? Owen, this isn't about tonight. This has been planned for 18 months. Dad wanted this announcement public. Why? Because he wanted you to face the truth. You're not doing this for yourself. You're doing it for Diane. Silence. I need to see you. Tomorrow, please. Sunday, 10 a.m. My place. I hung up, stood in the cool night air. This was only beginning. Sunday, May 19th, 10:15 a.m. A knock on my studio apartment door. I opened it. Owen looked destroyed. Dark circles, wrinkled shirt. He clearly hadn't slept. He walked in without a word. I need the truth, all of it. I handed him the manila folder. This is a copy of Dad's will. Read page 7. He sat on my couch, opened it, read. I watched his face change as he processed each line. GPA 3.5 required. He had 2.9, 200 volunteer hours annually. He had 45 total. Semester by semester approval by me. He flipped the page, found his own medical school application essay, read it. His face went pale. Following my stepfather's legacy, make my family proud. He looked up. You've known about this since when? February. The lawyer sent your academic records. And you didn't tell me? Dad didn't want you to know until the announcement. He wanted you to face this publicly. Owen put his head in his hands. I don't even know if I want to be a doctor anymore. I wrote that essay because Mom forced me to. I don't know what I actually want. I know. He looked up. You know? You called me at 1 in the morning 2 weeks ago. You told me you didn't know if you were doing this for yourself or for Diane. Tears ran down his face. What are you going to do? Cut me off completely? I sat beside him. No, but you need to decide. Do you want medical school for you or for Diane? Because if it's for Diane, you'll never succeed. And Dad knew that. Owen was quiet for a long time. What would Dad say if he were here? He'd say, find your own path, but he'd also say, if you choose medicine, choose it for the right reason. I don't know what my reason is anymore. Then that's what you need to figure out. Monday, May 20th, 3:15 p.m. I was at the PICU nurse station charting. The unit was busy. Alarms beeping, parents hovering, controlled chaos. Suddenly, Diane walked in. Not the visitor area, the actual patient care unit. Claire! Every head turned. I stood. You need to leave. This is a patient care area. She marched toward me. You can't avoid me forever. You humiliated this family. You made Owen look like a fool in front of the Langfords. That money is Owen's. Michael left it for his son. Other nurses were staring. I kept my voice level. If you want to talk, we can meet with the lawyer. This is a hospital. Diane stepped closer. You're greedy. You waited for your father to die so you could steal everything. You're just a nurse. You don't deserve security. I picked up the phone. Called. Dr. Rahman appeared from the hallway. Mrs. Donovan, you need to leave immediately. 2 security guards arrived within 60 seconds. Diane was crying now. Angry tears. Michael would never have wanted this. He loved Owen. I met her eyes. Dad loved Owen enough to protect him from you. Read the will. Your name isn't in it. Security escorted her out. From the hallway, her voice echoed, This isn't over. But it was. Legally, she had no standing. Emotionally, that was a different battle. Tuesday, May 21st, 9:47 p.m. My phone rang. Sophia Langford. I hesitated, answered. Hello? Claire, it's Sophia. I hope it's okay I'm calling. Owen gave me your number. I need to talk to you about him. Okay? I love him, I really do, but I'm scared. He's been drinking, not socially, like bottles of wine alone. He's missed class 3 times this week. His academic advisor called him in for a probation warning. She took a breath. My father wants me to reconsider the engagement, but I don't want to abandon Owen. I want to help him. Did he tell you about the trust conditions? Yes. And honestly, I think it's exactly what he needs. Not the money, the accountability. Owen's been living for his mother his entire life. He doesn't know who he actually is. I was surprised. You're not angry with me? Why would I be? You're trying to protect him. My dad said your father was brilliant for structuring it this way. Owen needs to choose medicine because he wants it, not because Diane wants it. A pause. Can you help him? I can't do this alone. He needs to want help first. He does. I can see it. He respects you, Claire. If you give him a path, clear conditions, steps to follow, he'll try. But he needs to know you believe in him. I do believe in him, but he has to believe in himself first. Wednesday, May 22nd, 11:08 p.m. Email notification. Subject: I'm sorry and I need help. From Owen. I opened it. Claire, I'm sorry for everything. For not defending you in front of Mom. For living a fake life. For being a coward. The truth is, I don't know if I want to be a doctor. I applied to med school because Mom told me, you have to make your father proud. I've been studying because I'm terrified of disappointing everyone, but you're right, I can't live like this. I talked to Sophia. We're postponing the wedding for a year. I need time to figure out who I am. I want to try, really try, medical school, not for Mom. Because I want to know if I actually have a passion for this, if it's real. Can you give me 1 semester to prove myself? I'll raise my GPA. I'll complete the volunteer hours. I'll go to therapy. Sophia already found me a therapist. If after that semester I still fail, I'll accept it. I'll leave med school and find a different path. But I need this chance, please. Owen. I read it 3 times. Thursday morning I replied, Thursday 2 p.m., Hopkins Student Services will make a plan. Thursday, May 23rd, 2 p.m., Hopkins Student Services Building. I arrived with my folder. Owen was already there waiting outside. He looked better, shaved, sober, nervous. We went inside, found a quiet room. I slid a document across the table. Conditional Tuition Approval Agreement, Fall 2024. Owen read, 1. GP. A minimum 3.5 by semester end. 2. 400 volunteer hours. 200 for fall, plus 200 makeup from spring. 3. Therapy once per week. I will cover the cost. 4. No contact with Diane regarding trust or money matters. 5. Weekly check-ins with me, Sunday evenings, 30 minutes. He looked up. You'll pay for therapy? That's not trust money, that's my money. You need support. 400 volunteer hours. That's a lot. Dad required 200 per year. You're making up for 2 years. But this is your chance to actually work with patients, to find out if you love this work. What if I fail? Then you fail. And we figure out the next step together. But at least you'll have tried for you, not for anyone else. Owen picked up the pen. His hand shook. He signed. I'll prove myself, Claire. Not for the money. Because I want you to be proud of me. I'm already proud, because you chose honesty. 6 weeks passed. Saturday, June 8th. Email from Diane, sent through her lawyer. Subject, to Claire. I opened it. 3 pages. Claire, I was wrong. For 25 years, I treated you as invisible. I projected all my insecurities. About not being Michael's first wife, about never feeling good enough for the Donovan name, onto Owen. I forced him toward medicine to prove that I belonged in this family. That wasn't fair to Owen. And it wasn't fair to you. You were right. I'm not in the trust because Michael didn't trust me. And he was right not to. I'm withdrawing from the wedding planning. I won't interfere with Owen's education anymore. I've enrolled in therapy, if you're willing, when you're ready. I'd like to talk. Face to face. Not through lawyers. I want to apologize for real. Diane. I read it twice. Didn't reply immediately. 3 days later, I sent a short response. Diane, therapy is a good first step. When you're ready to admit your mistakes directly to Owen, not just in an email to me, we can talk. Not yet, Claire. Monday, August 5th, 8 a.m. Text from Owen. Claire, just got my midterm grades, current GPA 3.6, and I've completed 150 of the 400 volunteer hours. I'm volunteering at a pediatric community clinic every Saturday, teaching kids about health and hygiene. I love it. I actually love it. Attached. A photo. Owen in a volunteer t-shirt, sitting with 3 children, reading them a picture book about germs. He was smiling, genuinely, not performing. I zoomed in on his face. His eyes looked different, lighter. Another text. Therapy is helping a lot. I'm learning to separate what I'm afraid of disappointing people from what I actually want. It's hard, but it's good. I replied, You're doing amazing, proud of you. Owen. Thanks. I'll call Sunday as usual. I set my phone down. For the first time in 18 months, I cried tears of joy. Thursday, November 28th. Thanksgiving. A small dinner. My new apartment. I'd upgraded to a 1-bedroom. Guests: Owen, Sophia, Senator Langford. Diane was not invited, but there was an empty chair at the table, and a framed photo of my father, Dr. Michael Donovan, in his white coat. I'd cooked. Simple meal: roast chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans, nothing fancy. Senator Langford brought wine, Sophia brought dessert, Owen brought flowers. For you, he said. Not from Mom. From me. We sat. The senator raised his glass. To Michael, who understood that the best way to protect his children was to trust them with hard truths. I added, to Dad, who taught me that real power is knowing when to hold on and when to let go. We ate, we talked, we laughed. At one point, Senator Langford asked Owen, How's school? Good, sir. Really good. GPA is 3.7 this semester. I'm loving my cardiology rotation. I'm actually enjoying patient interactions now, Sophia smiled. He comes home excited to tell me about his cases. It's completely different from last year. I watched them. Young, figuring it out, but honest now. At the end of the night, Owen pulled me aside. Claire, I want to invite Mom to Christmas, but only if you're okay with it, and only if she apologizes to you first, face to face. We'll see, I said. Saturday, November 30th, 11 p.m. I sat alone in my apartment, opened the envelope I'd been carrying for 6 months, the letter from Dad. Open after the announcement. I unfolded it, his handwriting slightly shaky. He'd been sick when he wrote this. My dearest Claire, if you're reading this, it means you stood in front of that crowd and announced the trust. Were you scared? Good. Being scared means you care. You're going to be blamed. Diane will call you greedy. People will judge you. But you know the truth. You did the right thing. I didn't leave you $19 million to make you wealthy. I left you responsibility. Owen needs someone who loves him enough to say no, to force him to find his own path instead of the one Diane painted for him. You're not just a nurse, Claire. You're a healer. You heal by showing up. At 2 a.m. when a mother is terrified, holding a hand when there's nothing medical left to do. That's real medicine. I trusted you with this legacy not because you're perfect, but because you understand what it's like to be dismissed, underestimated, overlooked, and you'll never make anyone else feel that way. Protect Owen, but don't shield him. Prepare him, and if he fails, love him through it. I'm so proud of you. Always have been. Love, Dad. I folded the letter carefully, placed it in a small frame on my desk. Whispered, I did it right, didn't I, Dad? I tried. Monday, December 2nd, 3 a.m. Another night shift at the PICU. I was adjusting a ventilator for a 5-year-old post-surgery patient when my phone buzzed. Text from Owen. Just got accepted into a summer research program, Pediatric Cardiology with Dr. Kumar. Wanted you to know first. Thanks for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself. I smiled, replied, "Congratulations, Dad would be proud." Put the phone down, continued charting. Dr. Rahman walked past. "You doing okay, Claire?" "I'm good, really good." Same PAQ, same monitors, same blue scrubs, but different. Because now I knew, I was never just a nurse. I was exactly who my father trusted with his legacy. Later that morning, after my shift, I opened my laptop. Email from Hopkins. Scholarship applications now open. 15 nursing students have applied for the inaugural Donovan Memorial Scholarship. I clicked through the applications. One caught my eye. Name, Maria Santos. Age, 29. Background, single mother, currently working night shifts as an RN in a community hospital. Dreams of becoming a pediatrician. Essay excerpt. I chose nursing because I wanted to help people immediately, but I've realized I want to do more. I want to be the doctor I wish I'd had access to growing up. I highlighted her application, made a note. Interview this one first. My name is Claire Donovan. I still work night shifts at Johns Hopkins PICU. I still make $73,000 a year. I still wear blue scrubs. But now I know something I didn't know 6 months ago. I was never invisible. I was never less than. I was exactly who my father trusted with $19 million and the future of his son. Not because I had the fanciest degree, but because I understood what healing actually means. Every night when I hold the hand of a scared child, when I teach a terrified parent how to use medical equipment, when I show up at 2 in the morning because someone needs me, I remember, this is real medicine. This is what my father believed in. This is what I'll spend the rest of my life protecting. If this story touched you, if you've ever been underestimated because of your job, dismissed because of your title, made to feel less than because you chose a path others don't understand, comment worthy, because you are. You always have been, and you don't need anyone's permission to know it.